Yeah. Nice and thick. Juicy and thick. Juicy and thick. All right. The Rusty Fish IPA is back, folks. It's back, and it's going to be on draft this Thursday or Friday at North Channel. They're going to do like a little pre-release on that bad boy because you all know that October 14th, it's the Rusty Fish, baby. Let's go. 127 mile, 67 mile, 33 mile. We got a marathon. We got the traditional 100 going out. This is going to come out well after the deadline to register. But, I mean, man, I don't know what you're doing. If you're any kind of, like, even weekend warrior, this should have been circled on your calendar. Super grateful for everybody that did register because it's going to be mint. What am I shaking up? A little bit of peptides, right? We're trying to keep those joints strong, that skin soft and supple, right? Trying to make our nails strong and our hair thick and rich. Anyways, morning routine. Just getting into it. Chocolate flavor. So meaty. So, let's talk about, I don't know, what are we going to talk about this morning? I was like, I should do a solo pod. I got to stack another one of these in. I got some good guests coming on, but not until the end of the month. And the reason why I set that up that way is because I'm so like focused on the Rusty Fish event that, stacking up interviews, conversations with people. I just wanted to make sure my mind was into it, right? I think it's important that, number one, if I'm going to have somebody come on the podcast, they want to make sure, I want them to feel like I'm invested in the conversation. And honestly, all I'd be thinking about is the event. So that's kind of the way I'm wired. My anxiety is super high. And it's just because I want this thing to be fucking rad. I want people to have so much fun. I'm manifesting. I'm praying. I'm asking my guardians, my angels, like, hey, can we just have it not rain during the event? This episode is brought to you by Chapo's Northside Bar, voted best burger and wings in town. Yeah, you heard that right. If you're going to go out for a burger or wings or both, you might as well go to the place that's voted the best. The best. Why wouldn't you have anything less? Look, and if you're not down for a burger or wings, that's cool. They've got salads, wraps, and sandwiches also. And this summer, it's going to get wild because on June 24th, it kicks off their summer concert series in the parking lot. Live music, folks. And guess what? It's free. Yeah. Come down for the music, stay for the fun, enjoy the best burger and wings in town. Chapo's Northside Bar. Right now, it's looking a little like the odds are more towards rain than not. But you know what? We still have a few days. Things could change. This is Michigan. After all, this is Michigan. And you know what? If you're signed up for one of these races, you're down for inclement weather, especially in October. So good on you. I feel bad for the marathon runners, though, if they've got to get out there and run for a few hours in the rain. But, hey, afterwards, have a Rusty Fish IPA. Have a Two-Hearted from Bell's. Have a Lager for the Lakes. Have a Captain Pile's Pilsner. Huh? Have a Oberon Eclipse. Total eclipse of the heart. Have something hot to eat from one of the food trucks. Shout out to 5-5 Coffee, by the way. I really don't know the owners of this company, but had a quick ask. Hey, listen, would you be willing to give away coffee in the morning to our participants? Yes. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So shout out to them. They're going to have a tent at the event. If you are registered for the event. Have yourself a nice hot cup of coffee in the morning before you go off. Everybody else who shows up, you're going to have to pay for that cup of coffee. But, I mean, how convenient and how awesome is it going to be that they're going to be there? So they're also going to be selling their packaged coffee. So check that out. You know, it's just a little plug for them. I don't know. I just think it's pretty cool. I mean, I like it when people are just like, yes, you know, with no expectation of receiving, which is, and I was willing to be like, hey, we'll throw you some cash for this, but sick that they're willing to just help us out, you know, as we're growing this thing that we're trying to do with Know Me Racing, and, you know, trying to spread awareness for the trail systems in Manistee County and connecting those trails to other counties to bring more, you know, commerce to the area, to make traveling here more accessible to more people, to increase outdoor recreation countywide. It's a hard thing, but when you do hard shit, usually you get a pretty dope ass reward. So yeah, the point is, go do some hard shit. So we got that coming up this weekend. And, yeah, anxiety levels, I'm probably at about a 6. Betsy would say that I'm at an 8 or a 9. I can go to 11. My dial does go past 10. It goes to 11 in terms of, like, my tweaking ability when I get a little high anxiety over projects that I'm involved in. But that's because I'm passionate about this shit. You know what I mean? I just want it to be dope. I really think that if you're doing anything in life, if you're not trying to make it as awesome, as good as it could be, what are you doing? What are we all doing? You know, I have so much gratitude for, you know, everything that I've been blessed with in my life that's kind of helped guide me to do these really awesome things that I'm being able to be involved in. The people I've met, the friends that I've made, what I've gained from the businesses that I've developed, the teams that I've worked with. It's all led me to this creative desire to do more with the time that I have, to be more, to just be good. I mean, fuck me. I'm going to ramble into something here. My goal, I've decided that I need to be better with my time and to do the most good with my time that I can. I'm fortunate because of, you know, I'm not going to discount the hard work that has put me into the position I am to be able to sit here and say, I can slow down on some of the things that create income in order to increase the positive impact I have on the, you know, on the sphere around me. But I'm going to do it. You know, I've made decisions that are going to fill my time up with all the things that I want it filled with. And if there's extra time available for some, you know, some of those outside influences kind of creep in that create more commitment and less experience, I'll talk about it with myself and my wife, and we'll make decisions based on that. But going forward, the goal is to spend more time with my family and my friends, to do more with Know Me Racing, which is kind of this young, exciting business that I've developed with Zach and Dylan, that I know is going to just create so much positive energy around it that nothing but good is going to come from it. I'm super excited for what we're doing for the trail community, for outdoor recreation, for lifting up our friends and our neighbors and and the local business community here in Manistee. It might seem small right now, but little bits turn into big bits. So I'm excited for it, and that's kind of where my driving focus is going for 2024 and for the foreseeable future. So obviously we'll use the podcast to kind of shed a nice light on what I got going on, because that's what I'm into. So I'm going to use it for that as well. Got a couple of gentlemen coming on at the end of this month. Talk about, I'm not going to drop names just yet, but we're going to talk a little bit of music. We're going to talk an album drop. We are going to talk collaborations. I have somebody from the school district here in Manistee that's going to come on. We're going to talk about numerous things. I have a bunch of questions that I want to ask, and I'm sure that once we get closer, you'll have questions. I'll start talking about that podcast, because I think leading up to that podcast, I should let you all know who it is, and probably take kind of a poll, or ask you to drop some comments for me to relay. Anyways, I'm going off on it. I wanted to send a shout out to Corey Ott. What up, dog? Sent me a pretty cool email yesterday that lifted me up, and yeah, it was nice. So I appreciate that, homeboy, and I appreciate that you listen to the podcast, and that you're getting something out of it, because that's kind of the goal. I mean, I'm getting something out of it, which is why I'm doing it. Because if I wasn't getting anything out of it, I wouldn't be doing it. It's helping me express my opinions and my feelings on things. It's helping me create conversations, and it's given me an opportunity to learn, which I think is important, that we should never stop learning. And yeah, so I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to try to increase the number of guests that we have on the podcast. Again, I go through these little peaks and valleys because of some of the things that I've filled my life up with, that aren't as important to me as this and my family and all the things that I've already touched on. So we're going to start filling it up. We're going to start getting more interesting people on here. I do still want to talk to somebody who's a believer in flat Earth, just because I think it'd be an interesting conversation. Also, I went down this rabbit hole on Reddit the other day about simulation theory. I mean, that could be something that I could dive into. I mean, if you're not familiar with simulation theory, what it is like there's a growing number of individuals, and a lot of them are techie science individuals, doctor and PhD level, that believe that we are currently living in some form of a simulation, right? Like this is like Matrix level shit. I want to talk to somebody about that. I'm more apt to believe that we're in a simulation rather than we live on a flat planet. Check it out. Just go to Reddit and type in simulation theory. Fucking blow your mind, the conversations that are being had out there. Or Google it. Go on YouTube. I went down that rabbit hole. That was like an abyss of information and video. Wild. James, how do you have time to do this shit? Well, I make time for it because the stuff is kind of funny. Stuff is kind of funny. But what if it's real? So then, I don't know. That's a whole nother podcast. I do want to talk to somebody who believes in simulation theory, though. Flat Earth, too. There's like, what do they call that? Like not like the Shire, not like Middle Earth, but like Middle Earth. There's people that believe that there's like a whole thing happening in the middle of the earth right now, like civilization shit. That's wild to me too. Yeah. Anyways, when I go down these tangents, stick around. If you leave, I get it. Just some of the things that are on my mind is that there are some wild humans out there that have these amazing ideas about things that, 99% of us believe to be untrue. So it's worth picking the brain. I don't think they're crazy. Maybe we're crazy. I don't know. But you guys want to talk about vibration? Lately, my vibe has been really high. And I think it's because of a few different things. Number one, I think it's because I've made a decision to positively affect the world around me. That's just trying to be kinder. That's trying to put on... I shouldn't have said it that way. I said trying to put on. Again, I don't believe in fake positivity. My goal is to be a bright light. I want to shine. I think that helps the people shine around you when you do that. If you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. I mean, sometimes you just can't get away from it. But I think having a little bit more gratitude, being grateful for what you have, because there is some fucked up shit in the world today. And if you live in the United States, you hit the lottery. I mean, let's face it. You could be living in another country right now that is being bombed to rubble, and you're not. You're here. So that's something to be grateful for. Circumstances aside, I get it. There's a shitload of inequality in the United States, but for me, I'm grateful, and I'm going to do my best to help those around me as much as possible. And I think that just increases that positive vibration within you, and it kind of reverberates out. It's almost like kind of like a butterfly effect, and I believe in that too. What you start from where you're at moves outward. And when you have that positive energy around you, when you're vibrating at a high amperage of positivity, if that makes any sense, it lifts up the people around you. And things just kind of start falling into place. You could say, whatever. I mean, to dumb it way down, the glass half full, half empty situation. When you believe that the glass is half full, then everything else seems to be more abundant. If you're a believer that the glass is half empty, then everything seems to be kind of lackluster. A little less than you'd like it to be. So, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about vibration lately. How it affects me, how it affects others. And, it starts from within, then you bring it out. And I have my good days and my bad days. Like, when people come in and think I'm a dickhead. Probably was having a bad day. And I try to grow and evolve. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. I've changed many times in my life, and the goal for that change is always to be a better human. And that the more I've had some pretty big downs. Right? I don't touch on a lot of that stuff here. It's still probably a little bit too personal, but I've had some moments where I could have just been a total fucking dummy, And I made a conscious decision every time that I fell down to pick myself up and look towards how bad it could have been and how great the future looks from this point on. You know, when you reach the bottom, the only way to go is up. So, and I've been a long way from the bottom for a very long time, and I'm super grateful for that. And I'm very fortunate. So, with that fortune, I'm doing it. I encourage you to do it as well. I've talked about it before on the podcast, but soon I'm going to be getting a big-ass calendar from my homeboy Jesse Itzler. And it's massive. It's huge. It's like 5 feet. I know I talked about this already, so if you've already heard it, my apologies. I'm going to say it again. And it's the point of the thing is you need to try to fill it up. And you don't fill it up with work meetings or Zoom calls or Teams, fucking whatever that shit is from Microsoft. You fill it up with the things that you want to do, the experiences you want to have with the people that you love the most. And I'm going to do my damnedest to do it. I've already started these little steps to creating that kind of lifestyle. And come January 1st, 2024, when I hang that calendar on the wall, we're going to start plopping the sticky notes on it. This is what we're doing. This week, this day, this weekend, with who, and projecting all the fun that we're going to have. I'll show you guys the calendar. I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube or watching it on Spotify, you'll see it. I'll post it on my other social medias. You know, it'll go up on Facebook and Instagram. I'm sure I'll throw it on Threads, even though Threads is kind of like, you get into Threads and you're like, what is, this is just like a dumbed down version of Instagram. I really thought at first it was going to be rad. But, I don't know. I forget about it. It's on a different page of my iPhone, so I have to think consciously, oh, I should probably throw something up on Threads. But there's nothing going on there, just like Twitter is kind of like a big negative shithole. And, I wish it wasn't. But anyways, on a positive note, I'm going to get this calendar and I'm going to start putting it, and I'm going to plan too. Like I'm going to grab my boys and be like, all right, let's try to figure out like 4 weekends in the next year where we can get together and do something sick. Or maybe even a week where we go camping someplace. And I'm going to do the same thing with my wife. And I'm going to say, Betsy, let's pick. There's 52 weeks in this year. Let's take like 20 of them and do something awesome with it. And then I'm going to do little things, like, because I really like training. So I'm going to do like maybe on a random Saturday, I'll throw up there marathon. And I'm not talking about signing up for one. I'm talking about getting all my friends from Run Club, getting my buds together, and we go and just run a marathon together. And then maybe afterwards we have lunch and a 12-pack of beer. That wouldn't suck. Do some endurance type events that are just kind of grassrooted. There's no sign up. There's no money. Just get your friends together and go do something like that. That's what I'm talking about. Spend a day on the bike with Dylan and Zach. Maybe do a little bike packing. Go on hikes with Betsy and the kids. I'd like to go to the UP and spend like an entire week up there. Do a little camping, which is wild for me to say, camping, because I'm like, geez, oh, Pete's. I've never been much of a camper. But this past weekend, a couple weekends ago with the boys when we were camping, it didn't suck. And Dylan did a good job making me comfortable. So I have to remember that. So that big-ass calendar, when it comes, I can't wait to show you. And if you're listening to this and you're interested in it, it's a little bit of an investment. I want to say it was like $50, maybe a little bit less than $50, but the thing is fucking rad. Just go to Big Ass Calendar. I mean, if you're on Instagram, just type in Big Ass Calendar and it'll pop up. And you'll see Jesse there promoting it. And he's got some videos there to check out. He's a motivator. He got me motivated to do it. I'm excited for it. So, anyways, there's the rant for today. Get yourself a Rusty Fish IPA when you get a chance. If you live anywhere close to Manistee or Manistee County, come and see North Channel Brewing Company because they're doing some pretty cool things there. And again, I hope to see you at the Rusty Fish on October 14th. And I'm going to take a little breather. I might take a few days off from this because then we got like a week here coming up. And the guests are going to start coming on. So prepare yourself for that. Anyways, let's go.